Hello, everyone. Andrew Taylor here. We are back to discuss a new lead type that agents have been doing really good on. We have Rob Richman with us. Rob, thank you for coming in. Look at that.
Awesome to be here.
We just to give you guys some background on Rob, he's doubled anything I've ever done in sales, which is a massive number in 1 year. And then I was like, dude, were you tired at the end of that year? And he goes, no, I was ready to do it again.
It's true.
And he's an animal. Very, very helpful. Now, Rob invited two guests in here. I'm going to let him introduce them, but they're young, they're new to the industry, and they have had success today in the office using this strategy we're going to talk about.
Yeah, so I have Stanley Smith with me. He's from Chicago, just moved recently down to Dallas. And we have Manny Matel Sanchez with us. Brand new agents.
You got it right. Both last names.
Right on.
All right. Can you talk about how you guys met, and then maybe they can share how long they've been in the industry, a little bit about their background?
Yeah, for sure. So we had my wife and I had been recruiting Stan. She was running the recruiting side of the business earlier this year, and we had done a lot of Instagram. We had hired a group to do the Instagram. I think we talked about this a little bit, and it was expensive. And we realized if we just genuinely reached out to people that we thought would be a good fit, that would work just as well. And it'd be a better return on our investment. So we had been dripping on Stan for probably, I don't know, you said it felt longer, but you said it was a couple months. It felt like it was half a year before we could get his attention. And the timing was just right. You bit at something that Rena had said. And then we interviewed for a little while. It took you longer than you probably wanted to get your license.
How long did it take you?
Actually, like doing it, if you do it, really it only took me 2 weeks, but it over the span of 3 months. So
You were just procrastinating.
heavy. I mean, I failed the test once, the general test. In Illinois, you got to take 2 tests. I failed the first one, didn't even take the state. I bought the test like 3 different times because I kept rescheduling it and canceling it, and then I failed, and I was just like, from there, it took me like 3 weeks to take it again after I failed that first time. But then once I took it, I mean, the rest is history. It was just go from there.
Yeah,
so.
he was working weird schedules at the gym too. So like I wasn't even mad at you. It was just like, can you just take like a week off to get this stuff done? What were you working? Your hours were?
It was 6 days a week, 10, 11 hours a day.
It was weird
like
hours
60,
though, weren't
70,
you? Like
at a
home
gym,
at midnight
right?
or something?
Yeah.
Selling protein at a gym.
Yeah, Manny's favorite thing, protein. So
Yep.
selling protein and memberships. But yeah, I was working like the midnight shift, so I was getting off at like midnight, 12:30, 1 a.m. every night. Going in at like noon too, because I wanted to work out before work, so didn't have a lot of time. But
So he ends up passing his exam. We do contracting with you. That went pretty quick, and then we joke like my wife and I'd be making dinner and we'd be training Stan on Zoom, and we did that for a week or so. You started in the business, worked for a week independently. Tough for you to have discipline in the beginning. Went to a lock-in, met a bunch of cool people, and then we hosted an event at our office. And I was like, hey, you want to come down for this? And you're like, you know what? Let's just get me a one-way ticket and I'll figure it out. And the rest has been history. So he moved down here.
So you moved to Dallas to learn from Rob.
yeah. That's at least what I tell myself, but we're here. So it was 9 p.m. at night, I think is when I called Rob and was like, book a one-way. It was very last second decision, packed everything into 2 suitcases and hopped on a plane. And
So you had no girlfriend, no dog, no nothing. You just bounced.
yeah, just got up and left.
Wow. That's
I
pretty
remember
cool.
this dude getting dropped off at the Uber, and we bought this house that's a cool house. And he's walking up. I'm like, welcome home, son. And he
Hey, is this like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
it felt like it.
Yeah.
Is that how you felt?
It was something. I mean, the house is huge. Walked in, I'm just in a beautiful house. Like this isn't where I came from. Not used to this, and then I ended up living there for 2 or 3 weeks. So it was amazing.
So Rob lets you live there to get you all set up.
Yeah. Well, I think he enjoyed me. He probably misses me. He wants me to move back in every.
It was fun having him. But yeah, so the plan was a couple of days, and then I remember the conversation pretty vividly. Rena's like, so he didn't put his bags in the car on the way to the office, and I'm like, I don't know what to tell him. I'm not gonna he's got to have somewhere to live. So then he ended up just moving in for a couple of weeks. And it became time where he ended up making enough money to get on his feet and get an apartment. So that was a couple. It was like being in a pressure cooker was cool. Like if I ever had a mentor that I looked up to that let me crash at their house for 2 weeks and literally follow their movements, like every hour of every day. It was you got 12 months of uh, of just pressure cooked pure uh,
Training.
training, I guess.
Yeah.
Just from working out, eating meals together, selling insurance together, and it was pretty cool.
Ate, slept, and lived like them for 3 weeks.
So today we have a bunch of agents here selling. We're doing a lot of internet leads because they're easy to access. How many sales did you make today?
Today I've written about 4 policies.
What about you, Manny?
Today about two policies.
2 policies
Or,
so
I'm
far
sorry,
today?
3.
3
We did
policies
3,
so far? You forgot about one?
Yeah, dude, been a long night.
Yeah. And these guys are young, so I'm sure you guys had fun last night since you're in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah. And
Yeah. But hey, they showed up. They were here
Oh,
selling.
I
missed
thought
it.
so. I
So-
thought they were going to be sleeping in.
Yeah,
So
that's what I did. I was like, yeah, these guys are going to get here
Oh.
late tomorrow.
Yeah,
No
so
way.
I took my time getting up. I talked to my wife in the morning, showered up, packed up my bags, and I'm flying home tonight. And I walk out, dude, I can't tell you the smile, how big my smile was on my face today. I was expecting that to be banging on their doors, waking them up. Stan had already sold 2 families by like 8 o'clock in the morning.
7 a.m.
By 7 a.m., Manny's on the phone protecting a family. We got all these guys setting up appointments for later today, and it's not even 8 o'clock. And it
Yeah.
was before we came to your office today.
Cool. And then how'd you recruit Manny?
So funny story. Like he lives with me now. Kind of the same thing with Rob. And
It's like isn't that a movie like
people-
Pay It Forward or
Yeah.
something?
people think like we've known each other for a long time. The day that he moved into my house was the second time that I had ever met the guy in my life. And I walked into the gym I used to work
I
at.
feel like we need a disclosure. Like, do not do this
Don't
at
do
home.
this. Do
Yeah.
not do this at home.
Don't just let random people live with you. But I walked into the gym that I originally worked at to talk to one of my old coworkers, and I was saying what's up to him, and he was just happened to be up at the front. And it was like my second week on the job, and I had just had a very successful day at work. And I came back and was talking to him, and Fabian, the worker, was talking to me about it. He was, oh, this happened, and Manny overhears it and goes, wait, you sell life insurance? And I was like, yeah, I just started. And he goes, for who? And I go, Family First Life. Turns out he was getting recruited by another person for a completely different team through Family First Life. And I ended up just grabbing his number and talking to him a little bit, and then took him forever. Same concept with me. It took forever to get him licensed and actually started. But then when he finally did, he was like between PHP and another Family First Life team, and then he ended up here, and ever
And
since,
now
I
he's
think he's
challenging you today, talking smack to you about how he's going to outsell you.
Hey, I love it.
September 1st, be ready.
I'm here for it.
So real quick, before we get into this lead stuff, you're 20. How old are you?
18.
18?
Yeah.
Dude, that's when I started, when I was 18.
I know.
That's awesome, man. So I want to ask you guys, what's your motivation? Like, why are you guys so motivated to do this? Like, most people your age are not going, hey, I want to build a business and I want to do all these things. What is it for you guys?
Honestly, just the fact that I can help people out while also helping myself out, that's a big thing. Also, I've had like a lot of dreams. Just kind of, I guess being to help out my own family as well. And just my friends, just being able to like give out. I'm a very giving person. And a lot of times when I can't give out, like I guess financially, I kind of overdo myself and then just help, by just talking with people or just, providing the best I can for my situation, I guess. That makes sense.
That's cool. So do you have any specific goals that you're trying to hit in like 2 years, 5 years, anything like that?
Yeah, definitely. Well, in like 6 months to a year, I want to have my own agency, kind of like what Stan's doing here. And that way I can help out my buddies, help them have, their own agency as well. And then just be able to kind of retire my parents, I guess, in a way.
What do your parents do?
My mom works at a college, and then my dad works for NBC right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. But I mean, my entire life, it's been kind of like a little bit of a struggle just watching with my mom,
Struggle.
Yeah, because she's been a single mom, so she's put in a lot of effort into me. So like to kind of watch that, I really want to be able to help her out, and just kind of give back.
Dude, interesting thing. Like a lot of people, because that's how I was when I was 18. I was like, I want to help my mom, like, because she struggled and she was a single mom. And But a lot of people I talk to, that's a big reason that they're motivated is like helping their family.
Ask him.
What's
I'm-
yours?
I mean, I take care of my dad, but big thing for me is just like I didn't come from money, I didn't come from success or anything like that. I grew up very normal life. I never like didn't have food on the table,
Yeah.
but I also never had necessarily the food I wanted on the table. So hamburger helpers and things like that, it was what it was. When I first 4 years of life, I lived in a trailer with my mom. Next 2 or 3 was in a ran down house that we were renting with like rats in the closets. Like I didn't have a great upbringing. And seeing this opportunity and seeing what I can do here, it's very motivating to be able to do it. Not even for me, but to show other people that they can do it, right? I have 2 sisters that are older than me. They don't do much. I have a younger brother that looks up to me.
That's
and
a
like
good
I said,
one.
yeah. And like I said, I take care of my dad financially. He doesn't work. He's on a couch at home, getting taken care of, And so there's just a lot of things that I can set an example for by becoming successful.
How old's your little
and building
brother?
it. He's 11, 12.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So.
Awesome. Rob, what was your motivation building this?
Similar in family, but so I was making money at the other company I was at, and I was also spending money. So I was living paycheck to paycheck.
The rat race.
300 grand a year was easy to spend. And I came over here and I was dating my wife now. And I said, hey, look, I have an opportunity here where if you want us to be able to get married, have a life, like I got to do something else. So I couldn't afford an engagement ring. Like at the last place I was at, I was like, if you want me to be able to pay for a wedding.
So you were living good, eating at Nick and Sam's all the time.
I was
Dallas.
doing that. Yeah, I was living above my means. And it was fun.
Was it Nick and Sam's all the time?
It was Nick and Sam sometimes. Not every time, but it, I lived in a nice house and I like driving a nice car. So I was spending what I was making. And I saw the opportunity here. I found this opportunity because someone that worked for me came over, he quit because it was leads. And they started to write 3 times what they were making under me. And I'm thinking in my head, like, dude, this guy's lazy and doesn't even know what he's doing. And if he's going to be...
Oh, because you weren't using leads.
We were using leads, but at the time, it was crazy. So when I met Mark, Mead is the one that recruited me. We had this dinner, and it was he came in town at the same time that company I was at switched from leads to doing senior seminars to do like pension maxes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm a lead guy. Give me leads, and I'm going to sell a lot of insurance and protect a lot of families. But if you take the leads from me, that makes me very nervous because I don't know anything else but leads. So we met and I started, and it took a couple months of the FFL seed to grow inside me. And I couldn't stop thinking about being able to build all over the country, not just in Dallas, be able to run different types of leads, whether it be EverQuote at the time, final expense, annuity leads, mortgage protection leads, all of this. And to be able to not just be reliant on direct mail, to be able to build a business and be able to grow all around. So my driving factor was I needed to make more money so I could get married. And so it's all similar. Like family's been the motivator. And now I told you Rena's pregnant. So now I got to make even harder.
Drew, you got a button for that? There you go.
We had like a baby crying in the background just to get me used to it, or if it was an applause. But yeah, so now that's the motivation. So now we got to accelerate the growth, be a more impactful player at FFL. And it's fun to do it with these guys because they bring the heat.
And we got to pay it forward too.
100%.
Because like someone helped us get here. Mm-hmm. We got to pay it forward to the young guys as well.
Yep.
One little tip from me is like you guys are having early success, but you're going to come across a lot of hard stuff. You're going to have chargebacks, cancellations, friends quit on you, family probably quit on you. Like what you guys are going to go through it's going to be a lot, and you just keep getting tested more and more and more and more. But there we go. There we go.
Thanks, Factory.
And it's always thanks, Factory. But stay on track. Don't get pulled away. People are going to tell you, stop doing that. Like you're going through a rough time. Stay on track. And then like 10 years goes by. You're like, whoa, I can't believe I'm here. But you stayed on track. So, but I'm proud of you guys, what you guys are doing. Rob, can you go over? I like what you guys are doing because lead strategy is hard for agents. And what you were telling me is you use one simple strategy, one simple lead type. You can go over the cost, but also just like you're using the beneficiary name on the lead to trigger the client remembering that they filled something out.
Yeah.
And you guys are having good success. Can you talk about ratios and then what you guys are experiencing? Let's go over that a little bit.
Yeah. What I'd like to do is talk to strategy and then let these guys kind of talk about how they're building the credibility quick, because they're doing exactly what I was doing. They're just making more volume of calls at this point. So when we start a new agent, it's like there's so many different lead types out there. You go to YouTube and you're drowned in content, and everybody is successful in different, they get their different ways. And sometimes you see agents that, maybe their bankroll's a little bit different, so they can hop on live transfers. Maybe they can have a dialer setting their appointment. Maybe they were grandfathered in, like I was lucky to be, where I could get direct mail leads. And people are like, or there's internet leads, or there's bronze, there's silver, there's platinum, there's diamond, there's all these different ones. Like, what do we do? And some agencies, and I've struggled with this before, it's like a mix is good. I mean, and maybe it is. However, it's different. It's a different level of effectiveness when he's scaling his business. There's enough to think about in training an agent. If you don't have to think about what that agent is going to be plugged into, the training can be standardized, if you will. So if all of the training is going to be the same, and I mentioned this yesterday when we were talking, it's like something that I always loved and respected about the U.S.A. and America culture was everybody spoke the same language. So it was like the challenges could be identified and troubleshot way easier. There's like, you said this, and when you said this, let's try it this way. And then they teach their people the same thing. So when we're all speaking English, we're all speaking the insurance English, it's easier to then manage the training program. So I like the internet leads because it's an easy sale. It's straightforward. There's not a lot of moving parts. And the point of starting people on an instant lead with beneficiaries, yes, get the credibility, but most importantly, it's going to be a very good introduction to learn product, to learn how to pivot if somebody gets declined, how to rewrite a policy, which you've been dealing with, which you're learning that very well. Learn the difference between whole life and term. Learn how to pitch an IUL when it's right, but not in every single different situation. Learn how to sell a CBO, learn how to sell a regular term policy, and learn how to sell final expense, because it's a mixed bag. So once you've learned all of the different products and you get very comfortable with America, with Prosperity, with American Amicable, with Ethos, with Moo, with all these different companies, different clients are going to fall into different baskets. Once you've got that part of it mastered, then we can transition to a more complicated, difficult sale that is potentially going to be a better ROI on the cost per lead per sale, which could be an aged mortgage lead. I think the most predictable type of lead is going to be a direct mail mortgage lead, only because it's someone actually filling that out. I think we can agree on that. You can get a mixed bag with anything of per quality, or I forgot filling this out. Nobody forgets writing their name down on a card and mailing it in. Like, who even does that?
Yeah, we all love direct mail, but it's going away. It's getting harder to get. So do you adapt or?
To adapt or die. I died for a year. My agency died for a whole year because we didn't do that.
Dude, I was the first one to adapt mortgage protection. To adapt from mortgage protection. First, it was we had to add final expense mailers, which nobody liked. But I was like, dude, we can't grow, and people are knocking on doors. So we can definitely make sales with final expense mailers. It's just not as easy. So this was like, I don't know, 2017 or something. So I started saying we sell majority FE business, and then mortgage, if we can get enough mortgage protection leads, then we'll do that. And what I did is I went out and I sold it myself every week. So I would go, some of the houses had 22 cats inside. 22 cats. Yeah. And I'm sitting in there and like I'm itching on their couch, and the couch is wet for some reason. Like, dude, I've done all these things.
Yeah.
But then I would go back and I'd go, hey, team, look what I did. It's a numbers game. It's just different numbers, right? And then when we started to tap out and say we're getting so much final expense, some of the areas aren't available, some of the pricing is going up because the cost of mail is going up, I did the same exact thing when it came to internet leads because it can be done. You just have to figure out how to do it and have the right expectations of it.
Yep. I mean, that's nothing else needed to be added there. That's just exactly right. And we've had those conversations when you're like, I'm going to start everybody on my team on aged mortgage. I'm like, you really need to think about that because of the scalability piece of it. So, like, straight from Andrew's mouth, who's always been ahead by a year at least from what the trends are. However, you've done that. I mean, I wish I had that ability to. I'm starting to, but we have to think long term. So, back to what you were saying with the internet leads with beneficiaries, it's so straightforward. Are you going to get some rejection? Of course, but you're going to get more rejection with mortgage protection. Truth be told, you're going to get told a lot more. And it's just a great starting piece. The easier, and I said this like when we were doing the training, is I don't like to do things that are harder than they need to be. So if I can get a lead where there's credibility already built into it, it makes my path of least resistance, which is just getting to the problem that we need to provide a solution to, just that much easier. So if we're able to do that and it's so straightforward, and it's like, hey, you know what a funeral costs in your area? Cool, that's what the national average is. Some people want a little less, just the right amount. Some people want the inflation protection built in. How much are you looking to leave your kids? Are you looking for permanent insurance? Are you looking for something cheap with a large face amount? They're just easy conversations. So that's why I like that piece of it, especially when you're working with 18 to 22-year-olds. Like they're coachable, number one. They're willing to get through the bad to get to the good so much, like with enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And we can celebrate the little wins where we can normalize banging the phones all day and not get depressed about it. So I'll pass it to you on what you were saying is like the building of the credibility. And Manny's running them more now than you are because you're doing a lot more. Well, you're doing both.
So you're getting people started on it and then mixing it in after they get the hang of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how much are one of these leads?
14 on a bad day, 11.50 on a good day because of the discounts.
So if there's any discounts, now any one that has a contract with Integrity can access Integrity Lead Center with their NPN number. So a lot of people don't know that, but like if you have a contract with Integrity, you can access from most of the business units integrityleadcenter.com. Put your NPN number in, and then you have access to what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But some people don't know that.
Yeah, that's cool too.
So you go in there. Sometimes they're discounted, sometimes they're not. Mm-hmm. And the big thing is you're saying the beneficiary name or multiple beneficiaries' names come with the lead.
Yeah, for example. So for people that don't know what these look like, there's literally a beneficiary name, but the cool part of it is it says the relationship too. So I'm not just calling you, hey, Andrew, calling to follow up with you on the life insurance request online where you listed Nicole as the beneficiary.
Mm-hmm.
I can say, hey, Andrew, it's Rob Richman giving you a call following up with you about the life insurance request where you listed Nicole, your wife, and Atlas, your son, as the beneficiaries. How you doing today?
That's good.
You know what I mean?
I just want you to add, in case like you passed away today, you inquired about something that if you were to pass away today, that there'd be something left for your beneficiaries here on Nicole and Atlas.
Yeah, and I'm the guy assigned to help
but
take care.
But you really get detailed on that? Like
yeah, like that detailed. Like it'd be stupid not to.
Yeah, that's good.
They're giving us they're giving us all the bullets. We just have to shoot them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and now how many people? Because this is the interesting thing about this. Like I have some agents that I work with where like they look at everything like the glass is half full, and I got some they look at everything the glass is half empty.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So how much rejection do you get going through these? Like, I know you can't give exact numbers, but like, are you getting people saying pound sand all day? Are you getting people saying
these two can pick it up there? I mean, they'll tell you.
I mean, a lot of times they just like hang up on you. You know, like the part is once you get to the beneficiary, I feel like I can continue with the rest of my script, right? Like that's what I love about it. But until then, a lot of times I just get that hang up, right? And if I don't even get to the beneficiary, I'm like, okay, I have to work on my intro. So I go to Stan, I'm like, hey, how's my intro sound? You know, and if it sounds bad, then maybe I got to fix something up there.
Talk in perspective, mainly about when you're buying them fresh and new. Obviously, like in your starting phases, you've been running a lot of ones that me and Rob have ran and given to you.
Mm-hmm.
When you're buying your fresh batches, kind of talk more specifically on those and what that looks like.
Yeah, well, with those, you get a lot more conversations, obviously. It's just like the rebuttals that I get between them, you know?
So you're saying if they're fresher, you get a higher contact
Oh
rate.
my goodness, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Big time, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like after about 15 to 30 days, they've, talked to 1 or 2 people. That first 15 days, when you get them that fresh batch, you just bought a batch of 100.
Or one day.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's like they were literally just sitting on their couch waiting for you.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, yeah.
So the thing with these leads that is so interesting is like I'm going to use you as an example because I think it's my
Zombie
favorite.
burger.
My favorite part of working with you is your implementation, like to the T of whatever we suggest you do. You just do it. So Manny was getting on the phone and he didn't use any rapport. He was just like getting right to the point of it, and people were not that receptive to it because they gotta like who they're working with in order to buy, So we're like, Manny, you have to be likable. So then he takes a call from like 4 minutes to like 40 minutes, and the one call that I just remember is he's like, he learns that there's this burger joint, and this is how he does all his calls now, and that's why he's successful. Is he's talking to this like 28-year-old trucker who's looking at a CBO 100 policy, and he's already bought a couple of insurance policies, but over-the-road truck drivers are my favorite people to do business with.
Well,
They're
bro.
so easy.
Yeah, for good reason.
For a great reason. So Manny's talking to him, doesn't really know much about Iowa, but he's got friends that went to Iowa State or something. He's like, yeah, I've been to Iowa State with my buddies. What do you like to do over there? And he's like, well, there's this place called Zombie Burger. And Manny goes, whoa, what do they have there? He's like, well, they have really good burgers there. And they have milkshakes that they spike with booze. And Manny goes, whoa, I'm going to buy a flight to Iowa just to go to Zombie Burger.
Wait, was this yesterday?
No.
Oh, okay.
But we talk about it's a running joke with Zombie Burger, because anytime he talks to anybody in Iowa. But anyway, so he does this and he ends up talking to this guy to the point where he's like, I'm gonna come down to Iowa. We're gonna go there together. And his wife is kind of jawing in the prospect's ear. And the guy's like, honey, I like this guy. I'm gonna get him my bank information and I'm gonna get you another $150,000 of coverage, and we're gonna get our money back at the end of it. And Manny's so new, he's like dancing around the bank information. He's like, dude, do you just want my bank information? Can I just give it to you? Can we get this policy in force? So
Dude, that's so good.
You just tell him one thing and he does it immediately. It's like, man, tighten it up here. He's like, all right, done. Tighten it up. And the contact rate that he's getting and his conversion, you can speak to your numbers more. But if you talk to 4 people, pretty likely you're going to convert and protect a family off that, would you say?
Yeah.
Getting better even some days?
Yeah, I think by getting in contact with 4 people, past the intro to the beneficiary, I can most likely close something there.
Probably half those once you get the once they get their business card. Hey, did you receive it?
He's literally brand new, right?
Brand new.
Like how many days in are you?
Actually dialing 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, because I was over here. Stan invited me out. I came for a week and then went back home. And then I kind of just tried to learn the products, whatever. Wasted some time there. And then I came back out here to move. And then now this is my first week back.
What'd you do before this?
I was a server at a country club.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool, man. And you were at the gym. Are those both your first jobs?
No, I worked at a warehouse, McDonald's, DoorDash.
McDonald's? Dude, you want to know a funny story, Rob?
Yeah.
You know how you can do those annuity trainings where you can actually like invite people to a restaurant and you can do a presentation about annuities?
Mm-hmm.
And have you heard of those?
Yeah.
And it costs like $5,000 or $6,000 in mailers to send out to a bunch of people, and then they show up to the restaurant and you feed them and you give them a presentation.
Yep.
Well, I tried that one time because I wanted. I don't know. I've tried everything, and I'm sitting there, and all these people come in, and I have to give this presentation, and one of the ladies in front of all these people that I'm getting ready to ask for money goes, "Did you used to work at the McDonald's drive-thru?" Like, dude, what? And then she's like, I'm like, no. She's like, Maybe it was Wendy's. You look familiar.
Thank you, ma'am.
And then, dude, after I gave the presentation, her and her friends high-fived because the presentation was over and started eating and left.
Oh my God. Like, but
It's freaking
but
good.
like how, like it just goes to show you that you got like, you can do one of two things. You can trust the system, or you can try everything that works.
Yeah.
And like in the ones that you try where it's like little off like the direction you should be in, they're always the most expensive ones. It's so expensive, and those ones hurt. So like with what we have going on now, and I couldn't be more motivated and fired up and energized by the energy that these guys bring to it, because we have the lead structure, and they don't know anything else.
Yeah, dude, the industry is full of people recreating things 24/7, and they're spending more time recreating things than they are working.
It's like banging my head against the wall, dude. You bring someone new in and they write, they do pretty well, close a few deals. And then next thing you know, they want to write IULs, and they've been here for a week and they want to buy, $2,000 worth of IUL leads. And it's like,
And they put themselves out of business fast doing that too.
Yeah.
They put themselves fast. And when I was doing, I did that try with Tordowski. Calvin Wright did it with us. And I asked him, I didn't know I thought he was running mortgage leads. And I'm like, what are you running? He's like, dude, I hit Hall of Fame off internet leads. And when he said that to me, I didn't even like ask any more questions about it. I'm just like, oh, I need to learn this. And this is how I need to duplicate the strategy into it. So people that are like, they don't work, like,
Dude, Calvin's the man.
yeah, he's awesome.
Now, it's sales, so they do work and they don't work.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't work would be accurate, and they do work would be accurate, because some of them don't and some of them do.
If you get an 8% hit rate, like you're crushing it.
Well, dude, what's crazy, I'm going to share this, and a lot of people don't know this, but this is some of the new features in the Integrity Lead Center.
Mm-hmm.
So one of them is it's only active on some accounts because it's all in testing, but I think it's active in like 2,000 accounts or something, but it shows a lead score.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
I have.
And the lead score is giving the lead a score 0 to 100 based off of similar leads that are likely to sell based on age, zip code, and a bunch of other data.
That's awesome.
So, and the goal there is you can prioritize your lead. If you have one that's 100, you're like, dude, I should call this one. If you have one that's a 20, then you can prioritize them. Obviously, you want to work them all because you never know.
Yeah.
But it allows you to prioritize them, which is super cool. The other thing is it's starting to show in some scenarios the close ratio on those leads, because Integrity has the access to all of the different carriers. So they can see if the lead actually goes through and converts to a sale. So you can see on there that 14% of this lead type converts to a sale. 8% of this lead type converts to a sale.
And those numbers are going to be low too, because everybody's got to actually then like report that they sold it. So that's
no, it's not. They're actually pulling the data from the carriers. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Or else it'd be super hard to do.
That's sick.
Yeah.
So then we can just benchmark. This is what it should look like. Anything under that, we need
it
coaching.
Should be higher, because averages usually suck. You don't want to be average.
Right.
Like how many people finish college or whatever if you look at averages.
Right. But from a training tool, we get a new agent on there. We're like, hey, these leads that you're buying here, here's the expectation. We can create the expectation with data instead of just like words.
And yeah, exactly.
Which is cool.
Yep. Super exciting.
Yeah.
All right, guys, what's your goal in the next 6 months?
I don't know. I feel like 6 months is far away. I'm worried about my goal in December. We're going for 500,000 team production.
500,000 in annual premium
Of team production.
of team production.
Yep.
Sweet. What about you?
He just wants to beat me. Look at him.
Yeah.
He's thirsty over
I'm
there.
still trying to figure out what my goals are here. I just know I want to make a lot.
He's all brand new. He's like, what did I get myself into? Where am I?
He's so happy to be here. He doesn't even know where he is, but he's just happy to be here.
I'm living life. That's all I can say. Yeah, no, but I have similar goals to Stan. I just still got to figure out what type of goals would fit.
But
me.
they're bigger than Stan's, right?
Oh yeah.
He's already warm market recruiting. How many warm market people have you brought into the deal so far that are going through licensing?
I think like 5 now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and like today I had a client. It was so funny, but I had a client, and she was just kind of, I guess, working her job. But she used to do sales, and I was telling her, like, hey, you know, if you want, you can work for us, and we'll get you started. But I don't know.
I hear him
It's
on the
cool.
phone. He's like, "Hey, when we get back to the Airbnb, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna FaceTime you and
Yeah.
show like what this culture looks like."
Hey,
And
how
do it.
about the fact that we got the age range at this training that we're doing here today is from 18 to 80.
80.
There's an 80-year-old dude who's the man
He's
out
awesome.
there working. That was sad though. Like when he told his story, he's like, I want to take care of my wife. She's sick.
Yep.
How long they've been together, all that stuff.
He brought his little notebook over to me today, and he said, "Hey, you know, you've made some money. I've never touched somebody who's made money before," which was really sad. He just like put his hand on my shoulder and was like, "Hey, can you write down in my notebook some tips for me on like what to do?" And I just want to help that guy. Like,
I know,
I just want to
dude.
get him leads and help him. I don't know.
That guy's awesome.
He is. He shows up.
How about him saying, I can't do sales training yet because I'm new, but I can give you training on life.
Where is he? We gotta get him in here.
We need that training.
My favorite memory was halfway through the training yesterday. You look up and he's just in his chair taking a nap.
Oh, no.
Dude, that guy's a legend
He is.
for showing up. All right, so for anybody watching, if you work with Family First Life, we do a 2-day training once a month. This month we had Rob in as a guest and some of his guys. The next one is September 26th. We have Frankie Euphemia, who's just a complete animal if you don't know him. It will definitely be entertaining, right?
That'll be a treat for anybody that comes.
Yeah. It'll be entertaining and productive.
Super productive. His trainings are awesome.
Yeah.
He can break it down better than most.
Yeah. So if you would like to join us and you're watching this, you can go to usalifeagency.com/lock-in, and we'll put it in the comments, or we'll put it in the notes section on the YouTube channel if you're watching.
That's for the September one.
That's for the September
Going
one,
back to that,
September
or-
26th. New agents that need help. There's just something like magical about being around other people that are doing well or working together, have a common goal, learning from each other. This is what I have seen. I was telling somebody that like the industry is always changing, and this is what I'm seeing actually moves the needle, is getting new people together and doing in person, not just on Zoom, and like 2 full days of accountability.
It's so hard to do this thing fully remote. And when you get to meet the people and be around the people that are on your team, it changes the game. And then there's a dedication and commitment to the team more than just their own individual results. I think that's the magic of it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, dude, you know, when we were like our agency was growing, we were contracting like 700 new agents per week.
It was insane.
It was insane, right?
It was your numbers. Like,
Yeah. It was wild. So, but you know, when we were doing that, a lot of the guys, so Grady, Jack Yu, Trey Honeycutt, Albert, Nina and Hayden, Josh Alondra. I'm going to miss a bunch of them, so I shouldn't have done that. But they were all trying to help me hit a specific goal. So it was like will help us as a team hit a specific goal. It wasn't about anybody individually doing anything.
Yeah.
And it was like, you think about the magic in that.
multiplication versus addition.
Yeah.
It goes so fast.
But it's cool because you got people on your team that want to help you. Like Stan probably wants to help you get to a certain level because what you did for him.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise with Manny. And that's how you build a really healthy company. But unfortunately, there's a lot of times where you get people in where it's just about them, or they want to tear it down because they don't get immediate results, or they want to be a troll on your YouTube channel and say this doesn't work, which we love trolls because it drives more traffic to pages. Like, and they don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone's always like, should we take this comment down of this troll? And I'm like, no, just leave it up because more people will read it and then they'll watch it and then we can recruit them and then we just keep getting bigger.
Yep.
Lastly, no, I think that's all the updates. Yeah, that's all the updates. So thank you guys for joining us. You guys are killing it. Congratulations, Rob. Thanks for coming out.
Thanks for having us. This was
And
awesome.
yeah, man, we'll see you guys later. See ya.